Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to be sharing my experience of how I got my first client and kind of documenting my experience into becoming a digital marketer. And so let me kind of give you guys my little story. So I learned first about this business model through YouTube about, I would say maybe a couple years ago. I don't know exactly what year this was in, but I really didn't think much of it or implement because I didn't really understand what social media marketing really was. I didn't know what I had to do. I just thought I was kind of hooked onto the lifestyle of it and didn't really understand the mechanism or whether it was viable. But this year in July, I started consuming quite a lot because there's a lot of popular YouTubers who are talking about this business model. And once I understood the business model, I really found it lucrative. There's really low barrier to entry, which means there's a lot of competition, but it's also very, very scalable and very lean, meaning that it requires little to no capital and it requires a lot of skill set. And the reason why I found this, like why I wanted to pursue this was first off, I don't have a lot of capital. And number two, it rewards you for your effort. And not a lot of people kind of understand what I think like what a marketer really is, but essentially it's a you're a salesman. And I didn't really know this at first because you always hear like when I was watching videos of like how do you get your client? Like, do they just appear out of nowhere? Is it through connections? I didn't really understand it, but you, by watching more and more videos and getting more, um, I guess, a better root understanding of the business, I realized that yeah, essentially it is a sales job, but it's not just a sales job because you actually need to back it up with skill sets, and these skill sets varies. It depends on what type of um, skill niche that you're going to be providing. For example, you could be focused on providing SEO, search engine optimization. You could be creating a social media post for increasing engagement or for, let's say, getting the brand kind of more known. Um, or you could do something like paid marketing, which is very, very popular, like much more popular in my opinion, because it actually converts it, into sales. And this is at the end of the day what companies care for is generating profits. So you could be doing TikTok, paid marketing, Google ads, or Instagram ads, LinkedIn ads, B2B, you name it. And there's email marketing, etc., etc. So starting on July, I started to take a course from HubSpot. I took this like digital marketing certification course. I find that very, very helpful. It's free for anyone. And there's a lot, I've probably watched hundreds and hundreds of marketing videos and like social media marketing videos in particular, and also learning more about how to do sales. And if you're not really someone who's comfortable with speaking with people, I think this is a great opportunity to kind of get out of your comfort zone because the pace of learning within this industry, I think it's super fast and it forces you to be adapt. And I just love that. So after I learned kind of like what niche I wanted to go to, first off, I wanted to go to finance because that's like economics is what I study and I have a pretty good understanding. Not, I wouldn't say a really good understanding, but I've dipped my toes, let's say, within that niche compared to any other niche. I have zero competence within niches outside my circle of competence. So I was targeting first off like accounting firms, and I would do cold calls through going on Yelp. I would go to local businesses, and I called like around 10 people, like 10 businesses. A lot of them were, I was either met by a gatekeeper, so I was stuck, or other times it was just a hang up or people were not interested. And this week was kind of like a really Debbie Downer for me because I really thought it was going to be easy of getting a client, but this didn't turn out to be the case. And so I changed the niche into e-commerce, and you'll hear this quite a lot if you are actually interested and pursue this. Like the riches are in the niches. This is something that you'll hear quite a lot. A great marketer by Alex Hormozi. I've also read quite a lot of like sales book along this process, like along the past couple of months, and then that's also been helping out. And I'm more than willing to kind of share what type of insights and what type of books, what type of YouTube videos have been super helpful for me. And there's also courses too, which is another path you could take. But I think that education it's dispersed everywhere, and it just takes you time to uncover it. Anyway, I shifted my niche into e-commerce, and people might say like e-commerce is super saturated, everybody's doing it, but that's not really the case. As long as you're constantly trying, constantly reaching out to people, building those connections, then eventually you'll find the client. And so I changed my strategy. Instead of doing cold calls, I did cold emails, and I was doing personalized cold emails. I don't think I've heard people trying out the strategy of sending out hundreds and thousands of cold emails that's not personalized, but I don't know if that actually converts. I think personalized looms and personalized emails are the way to go, but it takes much more effort. And so I got my first e-commerce client, and it was insane to say the least. I've actually, before I talk about like how I like got the client, I had to find a media buyer, and a media buyer is someone who is going to be providing the service, right? I'm kind of like the middleman, the client manager, and I also do the ads copy, which means that I've read books in learning about how kind of like the mechanisms of what creates a highly converting ad copy. So David Ogilvy's copy has been helping me. There's a wide verse of like books that I just can't like think of in my mind, but just like getting more accustomed to I guess like marketing related videos, information and news, it allowed me to kind of better understand like what type of service that I could provide, because right now I don't have the technical skills to do the Instagram ads or TikTok ads, so I outsourced it by having a partner. And finding a paid media marketer is really, really, I would say it's quite hard, because as long as you have a budget, like I'm currently working on a 50-50 basis, because of course, like I have the skills to do the ads copy, but I do not have the skills to do paid media marketing. And paid media marketing is very, very profitable if done correctly. And so I wanted a media marketer who's really determined, and thus like I found, like after many trials through using like Upwork, through checking on Fiverr and Discord servers, etc., I found my media buyer. And then by kind of curating kind of a strategy of like what we could provide to the client, that's how I kind of like landed. That's how I created my personalized email based upon, and also providing testimonials in terms of using my media buyer's previous work as kind of leverage. So that has helped me a lot. And yeah, I wouldn't say it's easy whatsoever. If you're trying to get into this business, then I really, really recommend having the skill set first, because I think one of the reasons how I was able to even land was because I had confidence within the media buyer, but also having some skills with kind of like speaking with people, communicating, and you truly have to believe in the product, because if not, then I don't think that there is some type of like energy that you'll be able to deliver if you're truly passionate. And I spent hours and hours when doing an auditing process for them, even when there weren't, they were, another incentive that we offered to this client was that we're going to be giving them a free audit, and that there's so many different angles that you could kind of approach this. But yeah, I'd be more than willing to kind of I feel like there's so many things, but I just don't have it all written out in terms of like what sources I was using, what type of information, and the step-by-step process. Everyone's path is going to be different, but this was just my way of getting my first client. And yeah, I hope this helps. I hope this is insightful. And in no way is this business easy, in my opinion. I think there's going to be a lot of competition because of how lucrative like this business is, as well as the traction the past couple of years of how digital media marketing has been gaining a lot of just attraction in general, as well as the profitability of it. But yeah, if this is something that you guys are passionate about, um, by all means go for it. By all means. But I would definitely focus on starting locally and even working for free if you don't have the skill set to back it up, because you could use that experience and you could leverage that in the future. But yeah, those are some of the tips. So that's also how again, like how I got the first client. But yeah, let me know in the comments if you guys have any other questions. I'd be more than willing to talk more and kind of document my process along. And yeah, hope this was insightful, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right, take care. Peace.